Welcome to New Sky TV. How astonishing! Who would have thought that before the Spring Festival feast even officially began, the ultimate survival guide was already being tossed to the internet by Beijing Radio and Television, and the protagonist was none other than Xiao Zhan. To be honest, for many, the Spring Festival isn't about reunion, it's about survival challenges. The moment the door opens and relatives sit down, the air is thick with the feeling of being subjected to a soul-searching interrogation. And what's most outrageous is that Xiao Zhan Spring Festival survival guide isn't the kind of feel-good platitudes like don't care what others think, nor is it the hypocritical just be yourself. Every point he makes is like real-world experience, simple, direct, replicable, and practically universally applicable. Netizens were blown away. This is brilliant. Isn't this the answer to how we survive the Spring Festival? First tip, if you have nothing to do, read more books. Don't underestimate this. What's the worst thing about the Spring Festival? It's that if you're idle, relatives will have the opportunity to steer the conversation from "have you eaten?" to "how much is your salary?" "How much savings do you have?" "Where is your partner?" Xiao Zhan's brilliance lies in this: you're not running away, you're upgrading. Reading is the most dignified form of defense. It doesn't make you seem cold, yet it gives you confidence. More importantly, when you put yourself in a learning state, others are less likely to treat you as a gossip subject. Imagine sitting on the sofa reading a book, and a relative comes over and asks, "Why aren't you married yet?" You look up and casually reply, "I'm reading a book about emotional management." The other person immediately falls silent for 3 seconds, their momentum instantly halved. The second tactic, when faced with marriage pressure, talk about work. This is practically the strongest topic-shifting technique during the Spring Festival. The most suffocating aspect of marriage pressure isn't the question itself, but how you answer feels wrong. If you say "I haven't met the right person," they say you're picky. If you say "I don't want to get married now," they say you're immature. If you say "I'm busy," they ask what you're busy with. Xiao Zhan's approach is clever. He doesn't confront the pressure head-on, nor is he led astray, but instead directly steers the conversation towards work value. For example, if a relative asks, "When are you getting married?" you can immediately reply, "I've been quite busy with work lately, and I'm planning my goals for this year." This statement puts you in a more mature and proactive position. You're not a passive person being pressured to get married, but an active person in charge of your life. Even better, relatives don't usually delve too deeply into the topic of work, as it can feel like they're interrogating you. Your simple "I'm still working on it" leaves them with nods of embarrassment. The third tip, maintain a smile in all situations. This seemingly simple tip is actually the most effective. The most common occurrences during Chinese New Year aren't major conflicts, but rather the soft knife, a single sentence without profanity that can make your heart skip a beat. For example, "You've gained weight again. Why are you still renting? Your cousin has already bought a car." If you react angrily, others will say you're rude. If you hold it in, you'll feel uncomfortable. Xiao Zhan's maintaining a smile isn't about making you feel resentful, but about controlling the pace. A smile is a sense of boundary. "I heard it, but I won't respond." A smile and a gentle "It's Chinese New Year, being happy is the most important thing" make the other person's attack feel like a punch hitting cotton. It has no leverage. By not explaining, arguing, or proving yourself, you appear more sophisticated and composed. As one netizen aptly put it, his smile isn't ingratiating, it's absolute psychological advantage. The fourth tip, when faced with awkward questions, first calm yourself down. This is actually a hidden masterstroke. The worst thing about Chinese New Year is the barrage of questions: salary, partner, buying a house, children, future plans, a whole series of questions that will leave you breathless. Xiao Zhan's approach is, first, calm yourself down, then decide whether to answer. You can be polite, but you don't have to reveal your entire life. Many people only realize at this point that Xiao Zhan can offer such a universally applicable survival guide because he himself is someone who has maintained composure under high pressure for a long time. The opinions, cameras, and comments in the entertainment industry are far harsher than the words of relatives. His ability to remain disciplined, calm, polite, and measured in that environment, this emotional control is something ordinary people can learn from. What's even funnier is that the comments section was almost entirely filled with suffocating resonance. Some said, "I got goosebumps just from reading the first sentence." Others said, "This guide should be printed on the back of red envelopes." Still others summarized it directly: Xiao Zhan isn't a survival guide, this is a get-out-of-jail-free card for Chinese New Year. And the sweetest part is, Xiao Zhan's advice contains no aggression. He doesn't teach you to argue with relatives, nor does he teach you to give up. Instead, he uses a gentle yet powerful approach to help you navigate the complexities of interpersonal relationships without getting hurt. You don't need to compromise yourself, nor do you need to fall out. You can celebrate the new year with dignity, or you can peacefully be yourself. Therefore, the reason these 4 secrets went viral isn't because they were funny, but because they truly save lives. Chinese New Year is lively, but it's also the easiest time to break down. But when you have this Xiao Zhan version of the survival guide in your hands, you'll suddenly realize you can also remain calm, not hide, and not be cornered. You can finish your New Year's Eve dinner with a smile, feeling sweet inside, because you know that while you're celebrating the new year, you're also living your own life. More importantly, the reason this survival guide went viral overnight isn't just because it's witty and useful, but because it hides a sophisticated way of dealing with the world, avoiding conflict and self-deprecation while maintaining a firm grip on the situation. Think about it carefully. The hardest part of Chinese New Year is never what to eat or wear, but those seemingly caring, yet actually offensive, questions. It's like a needle pricking your most sensitive spots: income, marriage, work, children, the future. You want to enjoy the holiday, but you're forced to submit your homework on the spot. Many people, after being questioned so much, can't even manage a smile anymore, only feeling awkward and exhausted. The most brilliant point of Xiao Zhan's 4 secrets is, he doesn't teach you to fight back, but to upgrade yourself. You don't need to use sharpness to confront sharpness, you just need to use a more mature approach, leaving the other party with nowhere to attack. For example, read more books seems like a light-hearted suggestion, but it's actually a kind of soft barrier. When you put yourself on a growth track, you won't be dragged into the mire by those pointless comparisons. You'll find that no matter how many questions relatives ask, it's only from their perspective, and your life doesn't need their approval. Take talking about work, for example. This is more like a dignified counterattack from an adult. I don't explain my private life, but I have value, goals, and direction. This tactic works in any situation. It's practically a universal shield in social situations. The more you steer the conversation towards effort, planning, and growth, the less the other person can continue to press, because continuing to ask makes them seem narrow-minded. That's why netizens are flooding the comments section. This is amazing. Isn't this our secret to surviving the Lunar New Year? Others are even more candid. Every Lunar New Year feels like being interrogated, but this year I finally have answers. Even more heartwarming is that many parents, after reading this, didn't immediately think of using it themselves, but rather saving it for their children. They suddenly realized that children will inevitably face various social pressures in the future, and more important than grades are emotional management skills, communication skills, and the ability to protect themselves in awkward situations. Xiao Zhan's guide, on the surface a Lunar New Year strategy, is actually a gentle yet firm way of growing up. Speaking of which, what everyone is most looking forward to is, of course, Xiao Zhan's upcoming appearance on the Beijing TV Spring Festival Gala stage. This is one of the most ceremonial moments of the Spring Festival each year. For the audience, the Spring Festival Gala is not just a program, but more like a switch to the festive atmosphere. For Xiao Zhan, standing on this stage also means that all his hard work and dedication over the past year will be seen on this one night. Moreover, Xiao Zhan has always been a solid, reliable singer. He doesn't rely on flashy gimmicks. What's most touching about his stage presence is his clean vocals, solid singing skills, and his serious attitude towards the audience every time. A live performance is even more reassuring, because he's never afraid to sing live, he's only afraid of not being good enough. That's why everyone says, looking forward to a powerful singer performing live, looking forward to the stage king bringing back the festive spirit once again. Of course, besides the Spring Festival Gala, fans are even more excited about something else. 2 new dramas starring Xiao Zhan will also be released soon. For Xiao Zhan's fans, this feeling is truly magical. On one side, the spotlight of the stage, on the other, the depth of his film and television works. On one side, New Year's blessings, on the other, the pursuit of new roles. Every step seems to tell everyone, he hasn't stopped, he's been moving forward, growing, and letting his work speak for itself. Finally, wishing Xiao Zhan a happy new year. May he have smooth sailing, all his wishes come true, his career reach new heights, his stage shine even brighter, and his works achieve even greater success. Also wishing all Xiao Zhan's fans smooth work, all your wishes fulfilled, and that you won't be defeated by the soul-searching questions of the Spring Festival, but rather enjoy every reunion dinner with a smile and sweetly welcome the new beginning. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.